Okay, so here's another I guess follow-up of everything that's been going around and everything that's been happening with the whole Batwoman trailer and the I guess you could call the welcoming of so said stupid ass project. Because to me that's what it is. It's just a stupid project that they decided to make in order to ruffle up some feathers of other people that didn't approve of it. So as it turns out, it got terrible, terrible reviews. Approximately 4 million views, 68,000 thumbs up, and 271,000 thumbs down. Not to mention the comments that a lot of people gave. I mean, here's another one. They said that there were a lot of trolls leaving negative comments on the comment bars underneath the trailer for the CW Batwoman trailer, and like always, the left is always going to come up with the victim card, saying that it's a bunch of fanboys, it's a bunch of man babies, and a whole bunch of that. They seem to be ignoring the female fan base as well, on how a lot of them actually disliked the Batwoman trailer and everything that everything that kind of ruined it for everybody. So there's a lot of comments underneath, and I actually read some of them, like Papa Jax, who put, and I quote, "I need you to fix the cave. The cave is literally perfection. It will be when it becomes a kitchen." I love that one, and I'm actually leaving a thumbs up on that one comment. Here's another one. "I'm a woman and I'm not even a little proud of this. This is so embarrassing." And this is from CP here. I'm guessing that the individual who left this is a girl, and I gave her a thumbs up also for these are actually this is feedback from females as well. Here's another one from some guy. "What's next from the CW? The Social Justice League?" That's actually a pretty good one as well. Here's another one. "I came back to see how many more thumbs down this crap has received. I'm not disappointed." This is from a Richard LaRose. It's because it's exactly what I'm telling you. I already knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen because they keep making the same mistake over and over again, and then they're just going to look for ways to blame everybody on why this piece of crap is going to fail. And it's just common sense. It's, there's a lot of female characters out there that have had actually the protagonists in movies that are made for them. And one of the greatest examples, and I hope most of you look it up, it's actually a really good movie to watch, Tank Girl. This character is very feminine. She's very tough. She's gritty, and it's a very enjoyable movie to watch, because the protagonist, who is a female, or else it wouldn't be called Tank Girl, doesn't give off that feminist stench to where it's because I'm better than men, or because of, no. The character Tank Girl is something that you'd actually enjoy even as a dude. I enjoyed it a lot. And there was no feminist rhetoric in the middle of the whole movie. It was just a very enjoyable movie, and it was mostly a female cast. And guess what? I didn't have a problem with that movie. I didn't have a problem with that movie. Why? Because it wasn't a whole bunch of preachy bullshit, and there was no other characters whose toes were being stepped on. And this Caitlin Kane, which is the name of the character for Batwoman, originally, if you look it up, and I'm not just saying this just to say it, you can go ahead and Google it if you have to. Caitlin Kane, her character or her sexual orientation wasn't even, of the, gay preference. She was not a lesbian, as a matter of fact. That comic book didn't even last that long either, because it didn't have the welcoming of other female characters. I keep repeating myself. There's nothing wrong with female superheroes. As a matter of fact, there's no problem with female characters that have the lead in a comic book or a movie. It's just the fact that when you start pushing your feminist rhetoric and you start force feeding everybody, even women feel embarrassed about the way that these things are handled. Okay, even women feel embarrassed. And I've already seen a whole bunch of other YouTubers, and mostly women, and they've all reacted and said the same thing, that this is bullshit. They even reacted to the part where she says that, you know, she wants the suit altered, and this other guy says, "Are you kidding me? The suit is perfection." And she's all like, "It will be once it fits a woman." A lot of these female YouTubers said and had the exact reaction that everybody else when it came to what the fuck does she mean by that? What the hell is she trying to do? What the hell is she trying to say? You know? There's a whole bunch of other YouTubers who've had the same reactions that I have, and I kind of feel cheated in the sense that all I've gotten is a measly 6-9 views, and these other YouTubers have gotten its thousands, and I have, you know, no idea why. Apparently my subscribers really don't support me, I guess. But it just comes to that same old thing I keep warning people about. First, I warned people about the whole negative practice of game companies and publishers, and you know, the whole microtransactions and keeping half of the game to themselves, and you having to agree to certain terms, and if not, if you violated any of those terms, you'd get blocked or banned or whatever, including everything that you paid for. You know, I predicted that shit was going to happen, and you can go ahead and look up my videos, the very first ones where I started talking about those things, and look where we're at right now. Now, when it comes to this whole, you know, feminist movement, I keep insisting, you know what? Keep your political identity bullshit out of comics, movies, and video games. Keep it out of there. Why? Because nobody needs to see this crap. We already have enough with mainstream media. We already have enough with social platforms like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We have enough of this bullshit in our very own school campuses around the country. Okay, we have enough of this bullshit to actually now having to see it in video games, comic books, and movies, and at some point even music. This is now becoming insanely toxic, and they used to say that men were toxic, that masculinity was toxic. Well, you know, if you ask me, I don't remember men being as disgusting as the feminist movement. Okay, because we're not out there trying to choke you into liking what we like. We're not out there force feeding you to like what we like or believe what we believe in. You know, we just let the evidence speak for itself. That's for one thing for true that I'm pretty sure a lot of you would agree with. You know, men are out there trying to force feed anything to any woman. As a matter of fact, most men, before all of this comic book stuff became mainstream or became the fad, that all of a sudden a whole bunch of wannabes wanted to start picking up because it's the cool thing. You know, we kept this stuff to ourselves from our girlfriends and or wives, because it was a little guilty pleasure that all men, or at least the real men and not a bunch of soy boys, had kept to themselves, because we all dreamt about and fantasized about being Superman or Batman or an X-Men, a mutant, you know, having superpowers and stuff. We all do that. As a matter of fact, the proof again is in the evidence. Go to a Comic-Con, go see a lot of people dressed up as their superheroes. Why? Because they wish they could be them. This was the male mentality a long time ago, before all of this became a fad. So when it comes to this whole BATWOMAN situation, and like I said before, and you have a whole bunch of leftist cucks out there trying to do God knows what and fight some sort of invisible enemy, because that's what they are. They're fighting an invisible enemy, because I have no idea who these so-called misogynistic men are who don't want women to share the same things we like. I don't know who these so-called misogynistic males are who are trying to keep the female base from enjoying what we enjoy. This is a made-up enemy. The left is fighting an invisible enemy because he doesn't exist. Now, I told you the last video that get ready for the blame game. We're going to start seeing the mass media and all these other so-called journalists starting to blame everybody. And guess what? They're not going to be blaming both genders of, you know, of fans who enjoy Batman and everything else that goes along with it. No, they're just going to be directing themselves towards the male base, calling us man babies, calling us fanboys or whatever. Actually, to be honest with you, I don't go by fanboy. I go by investor. But they're going to start blaming everybody. They're going to start saying, well, it's not the show's fault. It's just that people are so cruel and unfair that it's not going to make it because people are assholes. No, it's got nothing to do with that. I already said that this was going to happen, and look what it's... Go ahead. You can go ahead and look up a lot of articles online, and there's going to be a lot of journalists blaming mostly men for the huge failure in the whole BATWOMAN trailer. You're going to see a lot of those. And I guarantee you that the majority of these so-called journalists are soy boys or feminists. And I remind you, okay, from the 1.2 million subscribers that the CW network has, it's gotten 4 million views, 68,000 thumbs up, and 271,000 thumbs down. Okay, that already says a lot. The other percentage of those 4 million are people that are undecided or are just too chicken to leave a comment or to even put like or dislike. So I have no idea who those mystery views are, but for all we know, maybe even the CW has Russian bots viewing their trailer, their fucking failure of a trailer. Maybe they have Russian bots leaving likes and views. Because it doesn't make sense. 4 million and only 60 some thousand of them put likes. I mean, do the math there. Okay, I think these guys have Russian bots on the whole viewing thing and also on the like button. And I haven't seen hardly any positive comments. Hardly any positive comments on this trailer. Hardly any. Okay? There's a lot of negative comments. Well, I mean negative in the sense that, the CW would see it as negative. Doesn't want a man to take credit for a woman's work. Steals a man's lifetime work. Okay, this is from a Charlie Ray. Okay. Where's the Mexican diversity hire? Where's the diversity hire? Who's going to play Robino, the soy wonder? Okay, that didn't make any sense, but I guess I know where he's going at, is that we never see any Mexican superheroes either. And as a matter of fact, I also find that very true. We don't ever see Hispanic superheroes. We see black, we see Asian, we see white, we see European, but you hardly ever see Hispanics out there. But I'm going to tell you straight out, I don't really give a shit. Okay, I don't really give a shit. I'm happy with the superheroes that have always been around since I was a kid. And I really don't want to see to be honest with you, I really wouldn't want to see a Hispanic Captain America or a Hispanic Batman, to be honest with you. But, at the same time, there is a lot to look at when it comes to the so-called diversity, that they actually do leave certain groups out of this argument. But the show is going to fail. It's not going to work. And they're going to have nobody to blame but themselves. The CW is not going to have anyone to blame but themselves, I guarantee you. But here's the worst part about the whole thing. They're not going to accept it. They're not going to say, yeah, you know what, we kind of messed up on that. We kind of thought that we'd probably get a pretty positive feedback on this, and I guess we did a terrible job with the script, and we never should have pushed the feminist agenda down people's throats. We should have just gone according to the comic book lore itself, maybe even add to it, maybe even do a passing of the torch. Bruce Wayne had to leave because of whatever reason. I mean, there's plenty of issues out there on DC where Batman literally had to leave Earth to do other things. And, if anybody knows anything about the theory of relativity and the whole space-time continuum thing, obviously that there's different times and space where you could be in one place and be there for only a couple of days, but back on Earth it could be years. So they could have done something like that instead if they really wanted to go that way. If they really wanted to go in that direction, they could have done that. I mean, we got a multiverse to deal with. They could have used the multiverse excuse. But no, instead they said that Batman chickened out, he just quit, he just left Gotham, the very city that he swore to protect no matter what the cost was. And oh, look, guess what? Now here's a slightly butchy looking protagonist, but she wants to take credit for everything that one man did by himself, and as she wants to be the badass, and yet has absolutely no way of showing that she earned it or deserves it. So there you go. But yeah, I said that this was gonna happen. I told you all it was gonna happen. I even put it on my thumbnail that it was gonna be a fail, a huge fail. You're going to see a lot of YouTubers out there talking about this also, but I guarantee you that most of them are scripted. They actually take a whole day, and if not 2 days, in order to write down whatever it is they're going to say before they proofread it and remove some rhetoric, I guess you could call it that won't seem very nice to some people, because some people are so easily offended nowadays. But I'm not one of those, okay? All those other YouTubers out there are vanilla compared to me. I'll tell you the things the way they are, and I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to censor myself, because it's how I feel, and it's what I think, and it's also the things that I find proof in, okay? Because I'm not motivated just by feelings. I go by facts, and the fact of the matter is that this was going to be a failure since launch. Okay, since the launch of the trailer, this was going to be a fail. And if you want more proof that it was going to be a failure, and I don't know what it is these people are thinking, that anything having to do with women, when it comes to pushing the feminist agenda, and you're forcing it down everybody's throats, including the female fan base, it is an irritating thing to do. You are going to go broke over this shit, okay? And you keep making the same fucking excuses that it was a fail because of fanboys and man babies and men that hate women, blah blah blah. No, it's because when you start pushing the feminist agenda, it's annoying. It's like that annoying next door neighbor that doesn't want to leave your fucking house, and he only shows up to eat your fucking food. You just don't want it near you anymore. You don't want it in your house because it's irritating, because it's annoying. Okay, that's what it is. They did it with the Ghostbusters reboot. Okay, remember how badly that thing went down, and yet everybody gets blamed for the terrible script and the terrible acting and the terrible cast. And yes, it was a terrible cast, and there was nothing in there in that movie which could be salvaged because it's bullshit. You could do a side-by-side comparison of the original Ghostbusters movie with that fucking reboot, and you're gonna see that it's nothing but gratuitous comedy with a whole bunch of sexism. Okay, and the original Ghostbusters had absolutely nothing to do with that. It had nothing to do with any kind of patriarchy or gender superiority. No, it was just a bunch of failed professors and investigators that wanted to look up what ghosts are made of, but they never so much as even gave anything about men just do it better than women do. No, it's got nothing to do with that. But you have the Ghostbusters reboot, fail. You have Ocean's 8, fail. You have, what other movie did they do that they wanted to, do the whole feminist bullshit on? Well, I mean, you can look it up yourself. I don't have to be the one to tell you. I'm not gonna tell you where to check this shit out. Go ahead and look for it yourself. But the proof is right there. Anything that you add any kind of political identity bullshit into it is gonna be a huge failure. It's not gonna be anybody else's fault except your own. And I'm talking to the fucking CW and the idiot morons at the WB as well. You took something as sacred as Batman and just spit all over it, and while you were at it, you had an exit plan of the blame game. That was your best plan? That was your exit strategy? Let's blame the male patriarchy fan base? Let's do that. Let's blame them. We'll just blame them and let them take the fall for what terrible jobs and decisions we actually make. That's what it is. They just want to blame everybody else except themselves. But you know what? Fuck it. Whatever. I've already said what I wanted to say. And it's everywhere. You can look it up with a whole bunch of YouTubers out there. You can go ahead and look it up yourself on YouTube and see the dislikes and likes and the views, and you're going to notice that the numbers don't make any sense. Like I said, the probability of 4 million views and only 30,000 plus likes, and the other one, which was an astounding, what was it? It was an astounding 271. Actually, no. Now it's 272. Because I added my own dislike to it, and the numbers don't match up. So I'm guessing that the other part of that 4 million were nothing but Russian bots, and the likes were also Russian bots, because like I said, the numbers don't add up. But anyways, that was my venting, my rant, my whatever you want to call it, unscripted, okay, uninhibited, and uncensored. And I don't hold back to what I said, and what I say, and what I think. So, hope you enjoyed this video. This was Andy Gamer Chanel signing off.